I have started.
Ovulating. Let us commence.
Let us pray.
1, 2.
This isn't gonna work, man.
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Making it fun for whoever decides to try to edit.
Oh,
I thought my internet cut out. This fuck.
All right, 1, 2. Welcome to Hear Something, a conversational podcast between three Dingus boys. Myself, Josh, and my good pals Jeremy and Mitch.
So anyway, boys, here's something.
Ooh,
Oh shit!
tell me about
I saw John Wick 3.
All three of them?
Yeah.
I saw all. Well, actually, yes, all three of them.
Nice.
He clones himself
you-
twice.
YouTube put up John Wick 1 and 2 for $10 together.
Oh, that's not
So
bad.
I bought
That's
I
pretty
bought
cool.
both of those. I watched them before I saw John Wick 3, and it was fucking incredible. It was
Mhm.
so good, boys. It was so good.
Boys, it was
It's action
pretty good.
from toe to tip.
It's yeah. I mean, the first scene is ass kicking and kicking ass.
Spoiler,
Second
he
scene
kills
is taking
people.
names.
No. I don't know if we've talked about it before. Have you boys seen the other two?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought they were pretty good.
I'm pretty sure I've said this before on the podcast. I'm gonna say it again. Those movies are like a perfectly written love letter to
Me.
action movies.
Yep.
And Joshua,
And
Aw.
yeah.
both the good and the bad things. Which I have it in my notes here. It's like the One Punch Man of Hollywood
It's to
film.
all the Joshuas out there. I remember the
It's-
last line
it's
of
make-
John Wick 2. He's like, you tell the Joshuas. You tell them
Yeah.
all. I'll kiss them. I'll kiss them all.
Oh,
fucking
love
Joshua's.
yeah.
That's the only thing I'm not in love with is like, Keanu needs like more badass lines. They don't, his writing kind of falls flat. And I think it's because
I think that's on purpose. I think
Yeah.
he's supposed to be his shooting and his punches versus a character, which sort of goes against the first movie and all that build up.
Yeah.
But I feel like now, like especially, they didn't expect a franchise out of it.
Yeah.
Now that it is a franchise, it's definitely.
I don't know. It's just like he does something really badass, and then somebody will talk to him, and his only response is like, "Okay," and it's just like walk out of the room.
Josh.
It's yeah.
That part I like.
Which again, it's like One Punch Man. It perfectly pokes fun at what it is, and it also is like it pokes fun at action movies, and it is the best action franchise.
Yeah, but I don't know. I see what you're going for. I don't think that's what it, because they don't go far enough in the opposite direction with those lines, because they still want to have this like cool persona around John Wick, so they don't want to fully go in the other direction and make him seem like a big goofball, which I get.
I think his character is just like speak softly and carry a gun.
a lot of bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's fine.
I think too. I don't know. He's done it for enough movies. I think it's consistent enough to just call that his character.
Yeah.
He's just dumb and quiet.
And I'm
Shit's
not
really
saying
good.
it's bad or anything. It's
Yeah.
maybe my personal bias because I grew up on like 80s action flicks where after every single murder you got Arnold Schwarzenegger looking at the camera and making like a pun about the way he just killed somebody.
One-liner.
Nice to meet you.
They're gonna make
Yeah.
Josh Wick, and it's gonna be Jason Statham.
Jason Wick.
Oh, you killed my dog.
Oi, you taking a piss? And then he pisses on it. And he takes a piss.
Looking dead in the
Pissed
camera.
on and pissed off.
Really
and he
jimming the
says-
camera.
And he says, "Oi, I'm the one taking a piss."
It's just all one-liners. He never
It's
kills anyone.
it's one-liners that don't make any
He
sense.
just pees on people, makes one-liners that don't make sense, or references his other movies.
Like he looks dead in the camera within the first 5 minutes and says, "Oh, nice to meet you." And he's nowhere near eyes.
I'm gonna transport you.
I hear you're looking for a transporter, and then just like hands them a car.
I hope I don't run into a megalodon. Which that was a journey of a movie.
Just points at a crank. Walks up to another one.
Ride
Crank
sure is
2.
Fast and Furious.
I know this is a joke, but I'd be really up for this movie.
Yeah, me too.
I'd be really up into watching
I'm super
it.
into Jason Statham doing anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh man.
that would be ridiculous.
we should play the Expendabros. I don't know if you boys have Broforce.
Actually, I think I do.
I think I have
should play that.
Broforce.
I think they were giving that away, like, anytime. Like, if you logged into Steam one day, everybody just got a copy of it for some reason.
Yeah, if you flex your bicep, you got it.
Expendabros is free. I don't know if it's you have to have the base game to play it or what. But
Push maps.
anyway, John Wick 3 was fucking fantastic. The action choreography was better than ever. There was a lot of really cool characters. They have a habit of adding throwaway characters, but
Yes.
which I normally don't like. But these ones were just
How was the
just
How
cool.
was the Catwoman in it? How was she? Isn't she?
She was really good. I
Oh,
actually really
cool.
liked her character. And what I was gonna say is like they add characters that are cool enough for me to pay attention to while they're on screen, but they're not cool enough for me to care
As
when
soon
they're
as
not
they
in the next
leave,
movie.
as soon as they leave the screen, I'm just like, fuck them.
Fuck them. Yeah, my object permanence is not 100% when it comes to John Wick characters.
I don't know. That movie made me realize, like, Halle Berry's got, like, one trick when it comes to acting. She's, like, the same
Yeah,
character in
for
every movie.
Yeah.
Well, and that's another thing I love so much is like they write and direct scenes around the one thing that these actors can do.
Yeah.
And it works so well.
At least
especially-
Morpheus is trying to go for something different. What's his name?
He's definitely just crazy bird guy Morpheus.
Yeah, he's really chewing the scenery.
Yeah. I think at one point he literally says a line,
I am the fucking Bird King.
which is really good.
Oh, I say that all the time. So that makes
Was it
Or
the
I
Bird
am the-
King? Or was it the,
He's like Pigeon King or something.
something like that, yeah.
sense. They basically made him Mike Tyson.
Now, Kith.
There's one part where a character says to him like I think it's time for you to like pay respects to the blah blah blah, and he's like, I think it's about time for you to go fuck yourself.
There we go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Catch you.
Oh, yeah, the high table or whatever.
Yeah.
Did they set it up for like another movie, or is it like 3 and done?
Yeah, buddy, they're riding this train until there's 20 movies, and then it's gonna be John Wick's kids. I'm really
It's
excited
fucking
for
John Wick in the old folks' home, just like, just going around breaking people's necks as they sleep.
it. Yeah.
I have disconnected your oxygen. Consider it a professional courtesy.
I think the movie literally begins with John Wick running, and then it ends with him running. It begins with him running towards the camera and ends with him running away from the camera. So I guess the whole thing he's just gonna be.
And in the
running.
middle, running. Neat.
Yeah, there's a lot of running. He does one on a horse. Does
Whoa.
one really good run on a
He
horse.
runs while on a horse. That's incredible.
Yep. Puts a treadmill on.
I thought
a
the
I
horse.
guy
do
that
like
they
how
s-
they keep it going. Like one movie ends, the next one picks up. One movie ends.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Which that man is gonna be exhausted by about 5 or 6.
Dude,
He's
I
just-
could not
that guy-
understand. Like, how does he keep going? Like,
that guy needs to sleep.
He's just
bad.
dousing Gatorade on himself. I gotta keep going.
He needs to see a doctor for that Adderall prescription real fast because he's not doing well. He's in rough shape.
The dogs can't keep up with him. Even he has to get a new dog every movie.
The only time he sleeps is when he's knocked unconscious.
which happens once every 3 movies.
That's a real man.
What a man.
What a mighty good man.
Mighty good man. Sorry.
So yeah, it was really fucking good. It's 2 hours long. I am probably gonna go watch all 2 hours once again this weekend.
Oh shit, man. The Mitch seal of approval.
It's super good. I have like I don't know if I've talked with you boys about like I have a very peculiar taste in action movies.
Yeah, we've spoken about it.
Yeah.
Off air.
Whereas I have a very good one, you have a very questionable one.
Well, that's just wrong. I'm a huge nerd about action choreography and telling a story through violence when it comes to action movies.
I base mine off of how much Arnold is in it and how many one-liners are
Yeah,
in it.
that's pretty bad. I think your brain's just kind of a big pile of poop in there. That skull of yours.
It is a pretty cool brain. Thank you. It's a big pile of cool.
Big pile of cool poop.
Big pile of cool poo.
It's ice cold shit up in that cranium.
Nice to meet you.
Why is it cold?
Oh,
Why does the temperature matter?
King of the callbacks. The Bird King.
here we are.
Here we are.
I'm the fucking lizard king. What's that
Oh,
from?
God. Yeah, what is that from? I know old boy says it in the office when he's threatening Dwight or whatever.
I think it is The Office. I'm the fucking Lizard King.
Yeah, Robert
Is it
California.
Cheech and Chong?
Yeah.
You
yeah,
think
yeah.
you've got me? Robert California isn't even my real name. I'm the fucking Lizard King. It's just like walks away from.
Oh, he's a lizard man.
Lizard Man.
Speaking of batshit bonkers things, have you boys
Yeah.
seen the new Death Stranding release trailer?
I did. Thank you for
I
asking.
have.
Thoughts?
It's just as fucking crazy as all the other ones.
It's pretty fucking crazy.
It's Kojima Unchained, and it's so far it's everything I expected it to be and more.
Yeah. Have you guys seen him tweet about Mads Mikkelsen?
No,
Nope.
but I hear he's in love.
It is fucking fan. He's like, every other tweet is like, in Death Stranding you will see shirtless Mads, tied up Mads, beat up Mads, bloody Mads, Mads with glasses, Mads running. Like he's
not
so in
wrong.
love
I saw
with
like
this-
5 of those
he's-
in that trailer alone.
Yeah, he's so in love with this man, and they're just best friends. I love it so much.
Everybody, yeah, Kojima
nice.
has like an infatuation with Western like movies and cinema and Hollywood in general. So
Yeah,
for him
yeah.
being able to work so closely with so many like stars, he's just like in hog heaven. So he's just gushing about
Yeah.
every single one of them.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's very cool. And Norman Reedus and Mads Mikkelsen fucking love hanging out with the guy too,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Everybody who hangs out with him says he's like really fucking cool.
Yeah, they're just all buddies. It's really good. So the trailer, anyway.
Yeah, let's talk about the trailers. So, there's just so much shit going on. Like, is this game gonna
Yes.
be 800 hours long? Like, I don't understand.
No,
knowing Kojima, yes,
Really?
probably. Yeah, it's a third person survival roguelike starring Norman Reedus.
So,
and the character from Hyper
exploration
Light
stuff-
Drifter.
The
Yeah,
exploration stuff looked cool. Like, the fucking ladder and shit. Like, that was fucking
Yeah, the
badass.
traversal mechanics look extremely good, and
Yeah.
Kojima is a big nerd when it comes to like systems and stuff like that, especially with like system specific gadgets that nobody else tends to use. Like PlayStation 1, Metal Gear Solid, famous for the Psycho Mantis fight, having to switch the controller port. He loves fucking with not only the environment and the norms and the tropes that people are used to inside the game, but also outside the game, and utilizing just all sorts of systems that nobody else likes to develop for with hardware. Like with the PlayStation 3, you had analog face buttons. Like depending on how hard you pressed on X and square and all that stuff, you could elicit different actions. And he incorporated that into Metal Gear Solid 4. Nobody really else did. So I'm
Yeah.
curious to see what he does with 4.
I know we talked about too. I talked about last episode about modular systems within tabletop games. Kojima seems like he puts modules within video games, which is a very strange concept, and I wouldn't be for it if I hadn't already seen him make it work time after time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He puts a unique set of mechanics in for like a 5-second scene, just because he can.
Right.
Because he's such a huge nerd again for very specific.
He's not one. He's not one that will let like video game design get in the way of his overall vision. If there's something he wants to work for a certain scene, he will make them put that in, even if it's only for that one scenario.
Well, he's not afraid to like if he wants. He has the talent to if he wants to do something just like a one-off, he will fit it into the game, and it still will feel cohesive, but that part of the game will still feel unique, and it's all very. What a genius! I love that man.
Like the motorcycle riding mechanic, I wouldn't be surprised if that only happens in the first 5 minutes of the game, and then you never touch a vehicle again, just
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
it somehow fits
seriously.
the narrative. Like that's how dedicated he is to like his storytelling.
Yeah, I mean, it looks crazy. Like, I mean, it looks like you start off exploring, and then you end up fighting people, and then
You're
shadow
some
people.
you're some sort of courier. He's
Yeah.
said that
Let's-
much.
Let's do a quick breakdown of frame by frame
Break
of
it
the
down.
trailer.
Quick frame by frame breakdown.
It's
Frame by frame.
the trailer was only 20 minutes long, so we got this.
It's only like 2 million frames.
Frame
Okay,
one.
so the first things first. It opens with like Norman Reedus talking to assume to be the president of the United States, who's in like a hospital bed, not looking so hot in the White House.
Yeah.
So apparently, some sort of giant tragedy has befallen at least America, but it seems like the world. And she, this is female president because Kojima's woke, and she is talking to Norman about trying to reunite everybody, and he's being real pessimistic about it. But that's where like the normal shit ends, and then you see Norman Reedus like cranking up a baby in a test tube, like he's turning on a computer.
Fuck yes.
What the fuck? What
So-
are babies about? What a baby?
They refer to them as Bridge babies, and Bridge is like this company that he seemingly works for, but I think it's also like it's what's bridging them to the other side. Because anytime, like that little flashy thing on their shoulder, when those start
Yeah.
lighting up,
Yeah.
it looks like he reaches for that baby and like cranks on that cylinder, and like the glass becomes clear to where you could see it inside, and that's when he could start seeing like those like fluid monsters everywhere.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
I think it's supposed to be some sort of thing about like purgatory or something.
Hmm.
So I mean, I
Modern
think
age.
and I think I've heard like some people like what's the word I'm looking for, kind of theorize that this is all like a big thing about purgatory, like everybody's
Yeah.
in purgatory and maybe they don't know it. So
Huh.
Yeah.
so it's kind of like the ethereal realm like colliding with the real realm or some shit like that. I don't know. Nobody's gonna know.
I've heard other theories too, and yeah, nobody's gonna know. But I've heard other theories too about the whole concept being like just barely the step before an apocalypse. Shit's not. Everybody's not dead, but it's really bad.
Really close.
Yeah.
And like I've heard like the whole things that you can't fucking do anything without this baby, like the whole children are the future concept, like
Kind of like the Children of Man, I think the movie was.
Yeah.
Or Children of
something
Men.
Secret of Mana
Secret of Mana.
2.
That's Square Enix joint.
Children of Men was a fucking great movie.
I've
Also,
yet to
there's
see it.
there's like the fake baby. Like someone has like a baby doll.
Yeah,
Just see
I
that?
think
Like, what-
that seems sort of like symbolic. It seems like maybe like some sort of rebellion force who know kind of what the Bridges company's up to. So
Okay.
this is them like kind of, like instead of like burning flags or whatever, just kind of like hanging baby dolls on barbed wire and shit, just to kind of say like you're not welcome here, sort of stuff.
That makes sense. So it also looks like you time travel, like you go into World War One. You go into it looks like Vietnam, maybe. I'm
Absolutely,
not sure.
That's why I kind of think that maybe sort of lends credence to the purgatory theme, because like those guys would be stuck fighting that war forever, like in a kind of a limbo between life and death, sort of
Yeah.
thing, because their souls aren't at rest.
Mhm.
I got a sense this game is just gonna be steeped in symbolism. And
Yeah,
nobody's really gonna
which
know.
I'm super excited for.
Looks pretty wild.
They didn't go back to the floating people, did they, in this trailer?
Not this trailer, but I think they did in the last
So
trailer.
We have no fucking idea what they're for still. The handprints with the goop in it.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck is that about?
I think that's like alluding to those things you're avoiding. Because if you
Well,
notice
yeah.
this time, like his gear kind of highlights those footsteps and makes it more visible, like an actual
Yeah,
gameplay
yeah.
trailer.
Yeah. His gear reminded me of Astroneer. Is it astronaut
Yeah.
or Astroneer? It
Astroneer.
reminded me of that so much. Yeah.
I like that little flappy thing, that little indicator. I think that's pretty
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah.
It looks like one person he encounters uses it defensively, like it spins around and deflects bullets
yeah.
or something.
It's like a bullet shield. Yeah, that's neat.
It's very. I don't know if you boys watched the Blade Runner animated shorts that came out before the newer one.
Nope.
Aesthetically, it reminds me of like sort of the cyberpunk tone of those Blade Runner animated shorts.
It's weird. I don't know. There's also like some hints of it being like a multiplayer online connected game.
Wow.
Because he's been teasing like these underlying themes of like strings and connecting us all and stuff like that, and that's why there's all these shots of like kind of umbilical cord looking things connecting people. People are always connected to something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Which
I cannot freaking wait, dude.
The graphics look
Yeah.
amazing. The facial things they did. I guess they
Yes.
did like where they captured the face movements and all. Like that looks
Mocap.
amazing. Yeah.
Well, facial capture technology has come
Yeah.
a long way.
Yeah.
yeah, especially on Norman Reedus' face. That dude has a detailed face.
Yeah. I mean, you can see
Bitch and
everything.
ponytail.
Got every. Yeah.
I mean, they look like there's almost like real people in the game. Like it's pretty wild.
He
I mean, man, have you watched fucking any cutscene from the last 5 years? It's incredible.
you know
Well,
that
I don't
that
know.
game is done in the Horizon Zero Dawn engine.
Yeah, that game looked incredible.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, I
Mhm.
never played that.
Yeah, because I think Sony might have pushed him to do that a little bit because he's kind of famous for taking forever to develop the game because first he wants to make his own tech and then build the game.
Yeah.
Hence, like the Fox engine on Metal Gear Solid 5, and that's
Yeah.
why that game took so fucking long.
Yeah.
But
Well, and I know that Sony is trying to trademark a bunch of their fucking tech and animating techniques and whatever.
perhaps
So
this
probably
one was
that's a good push.
this one was literally like when Sony got him on board, they agreed, like, look, let's shop around tech, let's figure out what you're gonna make your game into, and he went from every like first party studio to first party studio until he found like an engine he liked. I want to say like who made Horizon Zero Dawn? Is it? It's the Red Faction guys. I want to say it's Guerrilla Games.
Really?
Or something like that. And did I say
it is Guerrilla Games?
It's Guerrilla Games, not Red Faction. It's the other one.
It's in the Decima engine.
Yes.
Yeah, Guerrilla Games.
They presented the engine to him like on a USB stick in a wooden box, and it was just like, here's your next game engine. Like, it seems dramatic, and I think that's probably why he chose it.
Oh man,
they made
Killzone. That was it.
Yeah, Until Dawn was in this engine.
Mm-hmm. It's a great engine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's obviously pushing it to the limits. Did you see the environments in that game?
Yeah, they look fucking great.
Dude, like the grass.
Oh,
the
whole thing. The whole thing looks so good.
Yeah.
I don't have a PS4, and I still can't contain my excitement to just watch somebody else.
I'm gonna stream the hell out of it. I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I have some PTO by then.
I'm very excited.
I'm so excited. Like my year just went from, we'll see what happens to I cannot freaking wait till November now.
Coming out what, November 8th or something?
Supposedly. I mean, if he makes this deadline, I'll be very surprised.
Oh.
Which I'm still very sad that his Silent Hill thing got canceled. It's because Silent Hill is a very cool horror concept, but
the way Konami's been kind of like in a downward spiral, the games division, I wonder if like maybe Sony will approach Konami and be like, look, just let us license it. Just give us the name and let us make like Kojima do what he's got to do.
Sony, give them the license. Do it.
Silent Hills are already such a cool concept, and Kojima is one of the most brilliant storytellers of our time.
And
I want to know what he'd do.
Guillermo del Toro's monster design.
Yeah, for real. And with Norman Reedus and Mads Mikkelsen.
It'll be like the Simon Pegg and Nick Frost movies. It'd be the same characters, just in different movies. Same actors, I mean, different characters.
I would be all for an anthology series by Kojima. Absolutely.
Just the same 4 people in the game every time.
Yeah.
I gotta freaking love Kojima.
What a guy.
What a visionary.
I love you.
I love
the podcast.
I'm on the podcast.
Bring Norman and Mods with you.
Yeah,
and Guillermo.
Bring everybody.
Why not? Bring everybody.
Bring everybody. We got room. Just, go to Mitch's place.
Yep. Come on to my place. We can all huddle around my headset. I want to smell all those breaths.
Oh, that is the creepiest thing.
I want to just bite
I don't see how it's creepy.
That's a little creepy.
I want the smell so thick I gotta cut it.
I wanna feel that fucking moisture build up on my lip hairs.
Anyway, Hideo, come on the podcast.
Come on the podcast.
We won't be weird.
We won't be weird, I promise.
Nothing sexual.
Hey, Hideo, for real? I won't be weird.
I don't believe him, Hideo.
For real this time.
He's always weird. Hideo, if you don't do it, don't come on the
podcast.
podcast.
Call him Weird Mitch for a reason.
Are you guys cops? You trying to rat me out?
You have to tell us if you are.
Surprise, I've been a cop this whole time.
Take me away, officer.
Man, God, boys, the trailer looks so good.
It's just so chaotic. Like, the only thing that worries me is, like, will it all work together in a coherent story? But, I mean, I'm guessing it will.
The answer is yes.
Coherent depends on your definition of the word, I guess. It'll make sense to Kojima.
It might not make any sense to anybody for 10 years, but it'll be consistent.
Because it just looks like an acid trip, guys. Like,
yeah,
it's just all over the place.
I'm ready for it. I haven't had a game trigger my acid flashback in years.
But I mean, if you really think about it, though, like if you think about it, though,
if I use my big brain,
if you use those big dumb thinky sponges inside your
brains
inside your bone cages,
use that cranial.
Like AAA games just aren't really doing this kind of crazy crap anymore.
Oh, yeah, everyone's playing it safe. Yeah.
Well, Josh, you poke fun of me a lot for playing indie games, but they have some of the best, like, vague, sort of esoteric, symbolic storytelling ever, and this is what that reminds me of, is that form of storytelling.
You're right, I am correct to poke fun at you for that.
Yeah, you are, and that's fine.
Yeah,
I just know I'm playing better games.
no. Yeah, okay. Mine's got a bigger budget. No,
Yeah.
I get that.
My game could beat up your
I
game.
really do, but my issue with those, and that issue, I guess you could say, is like those things usually have one, maybe two great ideas, and then an entire game is based around it.
That's because they can only afford to put that many ideas.
Exactly, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just I miss the time when like developers or publishers used to take chances on big budget games, and you'd have like crazy ideas and crazy systems, and all just one after the other, and like every new level felt fresh and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like too often people come out with I hate to use the word gimmick because it has such a negative connotation, but like a gimmick, and they're like, hey, yeah, and the levels are procedurally generated and it's endless. You know, it's like, no, that's lazy. I mean, you thought of a good idea and you didn't know how to build a proper game around it, or have more ideas, or the budget, or the time.
I think that's a very reductionist approach to it. I think.
It is, and like I said, I know, and that's just when I'm playing those games, that's kind of what it breaks down to for me. That's why I don't enjoy them as much. Granted, I've been wrong on some of them. You know, like Hyper Light Drifter, I freaking loved, and I played that thing through to the end.
Yeah.
But there's very few indie games that I run into that carry me all the way through.
Right. Did you boys ever play? This is a quick tangent. Did you boys ever play Turok for the Xbox 360?
Yeah. Well, I played one of the really old ones for like Nintendo 64, I think.
Man, the one for the Xbox 360, it was a very linear shooter, but holy fuck, that story was weird. Oh my god, was it bizarre? It was so good.
I just remember the Cerebro drill or whatever you could shoot at people.
Yeah.
They would just drill their brains out. Yeah.
Cerebral
The
bore.
the last mission in the Xbox 360 game, it was a Tyrannosaurus Rex was the last boss, and it had taken over like a smelting facility that was pretty much like the economical center of this whatever island you're on.
He was the richest T-Rex.
It was fucking wild, man. It was so good.
He made himself longer arms out of the metal.
Yeah. Yeah, he was unstoppable.
He was wanking it 24/7.
Wanking that metal T-Rex wang. Mitch, I'm sorry.
For what?
I don't want to shit all over indie games. I know you love them.
Yes.
It's fine. I could see how your opinion could be formed on that. Again, I think that's very reductionist. But at the same time, it's not for everybody to look into how the game was made and the developer's intent when they're playing a game. That just happens to be my thing. So I see what they're doing while I'm going through the game.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I get that, and like I said, I know these are usually small passion projects, so they can't really afford to shake things up every level and stuff like that. It's just kind of far too often, like the indie games I try, like I'm having a good time, but then like 3-4 levels in, I kind of feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over, and the level's just kind of like a pixelated palette swap. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Well, and I'll go into a Katana Zero, which I loved a lot.
Yeah, see, that one seems like that kind of thing done right, though.
Yeah, it's the whole mechanic is you can run, jump, slice, and slow down time. That's it. And the whole thing that keeps you engaged is the level design and the characters you meet along the way. And as you know, the more you learn about the character you're playing, the more interesting it gets.
And that's not the stuff I'm talking about, because you've already said like two of the major things missing for most of the indie games coming out these days is level design and characters. Like I said,
and it's tough too when there are so many indie games coming out, because self-publishing is in full swing now. I think it went into effect like 2 years ago on Steam, maybe a year and a half ago on PlayStation and Xbox. So
and I guess that's what I'm talking about. It's I'll just say, like, when I see the words procedurally generated, I immediately lose interest.
Really?
That's a fair, especially like I fucking love roguelike games. It's one of my favorite genres, but there are so many bad games to sift through before I find one that I really like. Most ones that I try, I actually end up refunding before I hit 2 hours.
Yeah. I mean, I will pay the same amount of money for like a one hour game that has like very well tight crafted levels than like a 10-hour game that just has random procedurally generated crap.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like there are a few really really good stand-ups. Like Enter the Gungeon is really fucking good. I don't think I've ever lost interest in that game. I still find myself going back to it. The Binding of Isaac is a fucking classic, and again, there's no way you can get tired of that game because there's always something new you can do. Especially like with the freedom that the developer has given with he allows you to fucking glitch through a wall to get through the secret area, and he's very into like traditional game breaking and is very much permissive of that.
Persimmons.
Flint Hook is really good. Flint Hook is a roguelike where you're a little space pirate ghost, and the main gimmicks are you have like a little
grappling hook, huh?
very limited time slow and a grappling hook.
Yeah. And
the upgrades that you get along the way is like, oh, you go a little bit faster, your hook reaches a little bit longer.
A little bit faster now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monolith is fucking incredible bullet hell roguelike. It's just, but again, I can't name any ones after that.
Yeah.
Like there's very few and far between that really nail that genre of randomly generated and like that sort of style.
I just wish they did procedurally generated things as a bonus, like not the actual game, but just something that you could go back to after you complete the game.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, procedurally generated, and I hate to say this because it's generalizing, and like the games you said, I know there are great games out there, and certainly there are exceptions to what I'm about to say. It's just procedural generation seems so, like, not lazy, because I mean it's hard to develop games as a small team, but just kind of like a shortcut. Like
it's a very I won't say it's an easy gimmick. It's a very familiar gimmick. You put out a procedurally generated game and there's like automatically hype built around it the minute you announce it.
I'll say it's easier than developing like level design.
It might. Right. Well, it depends how they do it.
Well, if no, because I mean the basis of like procedural these days is just kind of modular. You come up with a few templates that aren't going to interfere with each other in any negative way, and you give the whatever system you're using like rules to where it won't match up certain tiles in such a way that it'll trap the player and forbid them from progressing.
Right. Actually, I will defend your point there, because the fucking 4 games that I mentioned, they not only did a beyond fantastic job with coming up with the templates and making them unique enough and whatever else, they also put more than enough effort in to make, you know, I've played over 80 hours in Enter the Gungeon, and I'm still working through the story, you know?
Yeah.
The story in The Binding of Isaac is very much handed to you within the visuals and within the bosses you encounter, but you have to like do work to figure it out. So I get not being super into that. When I started PC gaming, those were the games I played. So I'm very passionate about it. I'm very passionate about giving all those games a chance. And
right. Again, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying that's my experience with them. That's my opinion, which is the right one, coincidentally. But it's
that's wrong. But I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I think my thing with indie games is like I'll find one I love every now and again, but a lot of them I'm not a huge fan of. It's
very well. It's that's why I sort of don't like the categorization of indie games and AAA games.
Yeah,
because it's a spectrum of like, you know, how were they funded? Was it Kickstarter? Were they funded by a AAA studio or what? How many people is the team? What were they going for from the beginning? Are they doing early access? There's so many variables they go in it, and it's a whole spectrum of I guess like the development experience.
Yeah.
But
so I get the want to lump it into like, oh, it's an indie game, but there's a whole
subcategories.
Rainbow.
Yeah.
Listen to me. Look into my eyes. There's a whole rainbow out there of games that for you to experience.
Look at his
eyes. Look out over the sunset. There's more colors than you could fucking describe. It's so many games.
And all the colors are in pixel art.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful pixel art. Their eyes are pixel art. What is happening?
There's another trend right now too of like quote unquote hand drawn animations, which is great and all until you see the same 4 animations that are hand drawn.
Right.
Like,
I want to see some pixel art.
There's a lot of like very.
The
There's a lot of very tired, very overused gimmicks
Yeah.
The problem with those hand-drawn animation games is that you better step up your fucking game, because
Even
like Owlboy and Cuphead have come out and shown what like hand-drawn animation can look like in indie games.
Yeah, Hollow Knight looks fucking fantastic. Gris looks fucking fantastic. The Banner Saga, all three of the Banner Saga games are stellar.
So like
Jotun
if you're doing a hand-drawn animation game, you better have like something up your sleeve with that shit.
Yeah, Cuphead.
And that's what I'm saying. Like these teams spend fucking like 10 years working on these animations and making sure there are enough of them so you're not doing the same thing the entire way through.
I'm sorry to put us on such a weird tangent. Anyway, Death Stranding's coming out, and it's going to be amazing.
It looks so good. I'm very excited.
I know I always advocate against pre-ordering games, but pre-order this game.
You do not. You say you're going to pre-order
copies.
something every time we talk about it.
Pre-order 3 copies.
No, I tell people not to pre-order. If they're unsure about anything, just never pre-order. I don't want people to...
Yeah.
Even
when in doubt, whip it out.
Reorder.
I kind of say that half joking when I say, like, I'm going to pre-order this shit. Like, if I'm pre-ordering the game, it's because I'm certain in the developer. Like, it's not just, oh, the game looks good. Like, no, I've followed that developer and their track history and stuff. Like I said, I pre-ordered Mortal Kombat 11. But because, like, I that game was exactly what I expected it to be because of the last, like, 3 games that studio, NetherRealms, has put out. Like, the Injustice games and MK 9 and 10.
Yeah, Injustice.
So,
I've been watching MK11 tournaments for the past 2 weeks.
I need to, man. I've fallen off of MK so hard, but it's such a good game.
Man. I mean, yeah, if you're into fighting game tournaments, Dragon Ball FighterZ always has good ones.
Always good.
Because
Really?
it's always so good. I've watched that Sonic Fox versus Go One match probably over 20 times.
Too many times.
Yep, too many cooks.
I don't know. I still haven't decided how I feel about him icing the kicker on that one.
What do you mean?
All right, so Goey 1 and Sonic Fox were having their bout, and it was best out of 3. Mm-hmm. Goey won the first round, like, handily, because he was in the player 1 thing. And, you know, when most people are training for these tournaments, they play as player 1, so you put them on the player 2 side of the screen, suddenly... I mean, eventually, yeah, your character does end up on that side of the screen occasionally, but it will throw you off the rhythm, especially at the beginning of a match when you can just get, like, stun and combo locked in a game like this.
That makes sense. No, I understand.
So,
hey, Josh.
What?
Go On actually called for the reset. It wasn't Sonic Fox.
No.
Go On called for the seat switch in the reset.
No, you're wrong.
Because he was getting cocky, and they were gonna do a coin flip, and Sonic Fox was like, "No, dude, you won," and then Sonic Fox eventually let him. Sonic Fox's coach was pushing for it, but Go On called.
Are you sure? Because I remember all the hullabaloo
pretty...
being about, like, the internet was, like, divided because he called for the coin flip in order to switch sides.
If I am wrong, I will defend Sonic Fox and say that that's been a rule in fighting game tournaments forever.
We're on a podcast. We're always right. So.
Yeah, we're always right.
Yeah.
So.
But since you guys are disagreeing, I don't know who's right.
Sonic Fox. I definitely called Tails. Yeah, I got Goey 1 agreed to switch right away. I don't know. I can't find anything definitive without actually going into some things, so let's just say it's up in the air. It's basically what happened. They switched sides in the middle of the thing.
Either way, Sonic Fox's whole play style is adapting to his opponent, no matter how long it takes.
Oh, for sure. And I'm not saying he didn't deserve.
A detriment. Yeah.
I'm not saying he didn't deserve to win, and you're right. You know, in that sort of setting, you use anything available to you to win. I mean, it was within the rules, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you should watch him play MK11 because he may be very good at Dragon Ball
Is it just
FighterZ.
like one guy that he does tournaments in all the different games?
Yeah,
wow.
pretty much. Except for Smash Bros, because fighting game players apparently don't see Smash Brothers as a real game.
The problem with fighting games, I guess you call them like the scene around tournaments and stuff like that, is usually you have like 5 people that you know are just going to constantly dominate the scene, and the winner of these tournaments usually fluctuates between 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
So, and he's like a hot new up and comer, and he's just kind of like destroying everybody in most of the games he's been trying. Because wasn't he a Smash Brothers player first? That may be inaccurate. I want to say he was like a Melee player or something.
Maybe. I watched a couple interviews with pro players when Mortal Kombat 11 came out, and they were asked the question about like, oh, like who are you excited to face in tournaments? Like, who do you think is gonna win this first year's tournament? And everybody was like, Sonic Fox. He was the best MK11 player before the game came out.
Yeah.
Wow. It's just always him. He instantly understands mechanics and everything that you can do to stretch.
Yeah,
them.
he's uprooting like a lot of entrenched players and stuff like that.
Yeah, which is very cool.
Yeah, he's shaking it.
Good for him.
It's about time somebody shakes up the scene.
Yeah,
shake it up real good. I think my favorite fighting tournament thing is this one guy wins round 1 and celebrates like crazy, and the other guy just kicks his ass while he's just standing there celebrating. Yeah.
You see that now. There's definitely this air of like if you win a round, you fucking calm down because there's no guarantee. Like your opponent could have let that happen on purpose to like get your hopes up. Like there's the fighting game scene is very psychological.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think it's time for everybody's favorite segment.
Yeah. Is it already?
It's time for Review Crew.
Is it time for everybody's favorite segment?
Is it time for everybody's favorite segment?
Guys,
I'm gonna make the intro 20 minutes long.
I'm so confused what I'm supposed to do right now. It's time for Review Crew. Review Crew. Oh, what?
What?
Review Crew.
What did you say?
It's time for Review Crew.
Everyone gets a shot at introducing this week's Review Crew, where each week we deploy Baba Yaga to find us the greatest reviews from deep within the bowels of Amazon from Brendan Fraser's listening pleasure.
Hell
Yeah.
Be seeing
You
you.
hear the music in my head? I'm reading it.
Not if I see you first.
I spy.
I'm very.
With
Is
my
that a good
John
Keanu?
Wick eye.
I just opened up this first one.
Mhm.
Very excited about it.
Yeah, everyone is. Look inside. The first item up for bid
This
is...
boy is so sick.
Oh,
He's so
it's-
ill.
He needs to wank it. Is diseases caused by masturbation.
By who?
You may want to cut that sentence out.
What?
Talking about boys needing.
Oh,
to do
well,
things.
he's an older boy. He's 18 and a half.
He's 18.
It's by Dr. Samuel Augustus.
Which if we need to cut that out, then these goddamn Christians need to stop talking about teens wanking it anyway.
Cut it out.
Yeah, the Christians
I'm
started.
sick of these pedophilia like Christians.
Yeah.
Frequently bought together is disease caused by masturbation. 50 ways to eat cock.
Practical guide to racism.
Hold on, a practical guide to racism.
Oh wait, this is JB's shopping list. Hold on.
Yeah. Shit, it gave you guys my wish list.
Customers who viewed this item also viewed how to be a drug dealer. How do you talk to your cat about gun safety? We've covered that one. How not to be a dick, which obviously people haven't been following that
Never
one.
read that.
Ooh, may I take this one?
Yep, you can.
How to live with a huge penis. Advice,
How do I
meditations,
do
and
it?
wisdom for men.
Meditations.
How do I do it? How am I supposed to live with this huge penis?
I like
I don't know, but you could always evict him if he's not paying his share of the rent.
I like faking it. How to seem like a better person without actually being a better person.
Or Gene Man's Guide to Living.
Oh, it says without actually approving yourself. I couldn't read this. Close enough.
Oh, for those looking for something to read to your kids, how about this one by Matt Cole? Fuck you, son.
Nice, got him.
Fuck you, son. I'm vaping.
Customers who bought this item also bought Dancing with Jesus. That old chestnut.
Well, that's just
And
'cause
masturbating with Jesus.
That's all because of me. Did you know
It
there's a
is.
Dancing with Jesus bobblehead?
Okay.
I discovered,
Hold
I
on.
discovered that last night.
K is for knife ball, and it's literally just a picture of a smiling dodgeball with a knife taped to the top of it. An alphabet
man.
of terrible advice.
All right, JB, open us up. Open up my
Yeah,
booty cheeks.
sure. Anytime.
Spread them.
First review is from Andreas Ramadan.
Yeah, it is. I'm ready for it.
2 stores.
It's pronounced Darnell.
Yeah, it came too late. He says,
Do you get the pun? Do you get the pun there?
yeah. Unfortunately, this book did not have Prime delivery, so by the time I got it, I'd already gone blind and could not read it. I did, however, found an alternative to use for its pages. They're soft and quite absorbent. Already on page 67.
Thank you, Andres.
He's blanking on the book, guys.
Can I read this one from Mowgli?
Smogly.
Sure.
Can I read this one from Meowgly?
It's Madison.
Glee.
5 stars. Not a prank. I got this as a prank book for my husband for Valentine's Day.
Gotcha.
I thought it was a prank book, but alas, this is an actual book written several centuries ago. Not that old, really. In the age of anti-vaccination, that's right now, I highly recommend never giving this book to anyone. They might stop masturbating.
Henry's been so pissed off lately. I don't know
He's
why.
been so mad he stopped masturbating.
The cum rivers will run dry, and then how will we water our cum crops?
He's so quick to get angry. I don't know why.
Because he's not masturbating. He stopped.
He's not masturbating.
He read the
Margaret. Ben says 5 stars. Wow. Says,
Wow.
It's an actual book. I was expecting something cheap. I didn't read it, but gave it away as a gift for someone that broke their collarbone. What?
What did you just say?
Did they break the collarbone after getting the book? To stop themselves from masturbating?
They probably broke it from masturbating.
Yeah, the muscles not expelling their energy, like seized up, and the tension just caused his collarbone to snap.
Really quick.
That's one of the diseases.
One of the customer images is just George Clooney staring right into my fucking eyes.
Did you read the review?
No, but I'm kind of getting the urge to masturbate.
Well, they said that since they stopped masturbating, now their wife thinks they look like George Clooney, and that's actually a picture of themselves.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
That's
they
crazy.
do look like George Clooney. I'll give them that. I thought they were Ocean 11. Ocean 24. Got a review from Marcy Lloyd. Says 5 stars. 5 stars. Best book ever. My child was struggling with the sick perversion. And that's it. That's all she said.
They straightened him right out. Now he doesn't struggle anymore. He
Yeah.
needs some 5 pumps.
1 pump, 2 pump, 3 pump.
And now he looks like George Clooney.
Sure, go ahead.
Can I read one? I don't know if you just read this one, but it's by Frequent Spender.
Nope.
All right, Frequent Spender just said 1 star. Love to masturbate.
That's it.
I would never buy such a stupid book.
Never.
Masturbation is completely safe, and I'm a male, and I love to masturbate all the time. I am 49 and still flat my meat.
I wasn't going to listen to his opinion, but then he said he was male and 49.
I would never, ever buy such a stupid book. I love to masturbate so much.
According to the judge, too much.
Since I
I
started
told him,
masturbating,
find a different Starbucks.
He put ankle bracelets on my wrists.
I have G-force sensors. They keep going off while I'm wiping my butt.
If my wrists get too many steps in a day, the cops show up.
I got another 1 star if you will have
Yeah,
me.
go ahead.
D. Marfia.
Oh, yeah.
1 star. I do not recommend this book to anyone hoping to gain disability benefits. This book fails to deliver what it promises. I've masturbated religiously, sometimes up to 10 times a day for the past month since my first read-through, and if anything, my eyesight has improved. There's an extra bounce in my step, a genuine smile on my face, and my handshake has more exuberance and firmness to it than ever before, not effeminate, idle, and weak as it should be. I do not recommend this book to anyone hoping to gain disability benefits.
The case starts off, I have masturbated religiously. Just him in the confessional at church. Forgive me, Father.
Yeah.
Forgive me, Father. It's been 20 masturbations since I last confessed.
You were here 20 minutes ago.
I know.
I
I'm
know.
just really trying to curry favor with the big guy.
You got any Gatorade or something?
Give me a glass of milk. I hear that refills my balls.
You're going to need to say 20 Hail Marys. Oh, I masturbate every time I say Hail Mary. Sorry.
Is milk stored in the balls?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Oh man.
And other questions I asked my bus driver.
I'd read that book.
A book by Desmond Jones.
I asked my bus drivers a lot of questions.
101
I want to see if
questions
they
I asked your bus driver.
I kind
wanna
of
see if they
kind
have
of
my
want to
number.
self-publish an Amazon book now. Is white pea stored in the balls? And other questions I asked the school bus driver.
Uh,
All right, a 4-star review from G says, "Great book for fixing this deviant activity. I would give it 5 stars, except the book fails to mention that masturbation makes God sad, and the liquid that comes out of one's genitals are his tears. So he solved your mystery. Now you know what's in your balls."
I love how God's tear ducts are connected directly to our balls. Such a
boy.
weird world we live in.
God, why you always
These 1 stars are gold.
I thought he was gonna say it takes down deviant art. I was gonna be all for it. Like
Oh,
finally,
thank
Tears
God.
are so sticky and salty. Let's move on to my second item up for bid. $1 bid on Lifestyle Skin Original Condoms 24 count.
All right. I have 25 penises. So you're gonna have to do better than
I
that.
need 'em
I was
one
gonna
more,
say
please.
that's good, but it's no 25 count.
It's not 25. From the manufacturer, their slogan is the closest thing to wearing nothing. I could just wear nothing, you idiot.
Original
I could just wear nothing.
About-
I'll go outside naked right now, you fucking coward.
skin to skin sensation.
About the
Skin
product,
skin.
polyisoprene. Polyisoprene.
Polyisoprene.
They're soft,
Polyisoprene.
comfortable, and incredibly sensitive. Have you mentioned polyisoprene?
Polyisoprene.
Polyisoprene.
So the major selling point on this is that it's latex free, fellas. For those fellas with the latex.
No,
Thank
pretty
Christ,
sure
I
the
don't
main
want
selling
my
point is
allergic.
polyisoprene.
I don't want my pussy flaring up.
Hey,
That's
are
for
you
sure.
polyisoprene allergic? Don't buy
Yeah.
these. We got twice the polyisoprene for your buck.
I hate having to remind my doctor I'm allergic to polyisoprene and him having to tuck away the skin condoms at the beginning of every visit.
If you or a loved one have been affected by polyisoprene, you may be entitled to financial
You may be
compensation.
entitled to a settlement, class action settlement filed against the SKYN Corporation.
Fucking. Okay, never mind. All right, so my first star review, my first review is from Lilo Luna. 5-star review says, "Well, it's been 9 months since I purchased these, and no baby. Works as indicated."
This reviewer had sex once. It was like, all right, now we wait.
Set an alarm on their phone. 9 months.
Now we wait to see.
I like the idea of them just like nailing them to the top of the door frame and stuff like that. As some sort of ritualistic, like warding off pregnancy.
They didn't even have sex. They just bought the box. They still have it unopened. Like, well, still not pregnant. Guess I can fuck now.
He just put one inside him. I was like, well, I guess I'm safe.
I guess I'm cool now.
Oh,
How's
boy.
that new neighbor of yours doing, Jim? He's all right. He's just like every Sunday he keeps going bury condoms in his front yard.
He's
he-
really good. It's just the one thing that he does.
He
that's
sprinkles salt in a
Condom
pentagram
sacrifice.
and he
You know,
buries those condoms. And then he waves
lets
at me
me
with
borrow-
a weird smile.
he lets me borrow a cup of sugar whenever. He fixed my car for me, for fuck's sake, Jim. It's just the one weird thing that he does. Is bury condoms in his front yard.
I keep cutting the grass and the blades get stuck in the condoms and it's rubber band around.
He's okay. His 12 kids are kind of loud though.
I keep hearing screams from his windows saying, "They work!" And I don't think they work.
Oh boy. My next review is 1-star review says, "I accidentally ordered these 2 boxes. My dog ate one and I tried to exchange the second box because I initially meant to order Lifestyle Skin Large, which are much better fit on you if you're a little
Larger side.
Yeah, my cock is fucking huge, Amazon.
But
Do you hear me?
But you have an ego block and can't bring yourself to order larger condoms."
On the plus side, my dog's not pregnant, so
Yeah.
I guess they work.
Okay.
Because the
worked.
dog ate the box, remember?
Eat the
Think
whole-
back.
So these, they get you pregnant.
Yes. No. What?
They make you feel like you're getting pregnant because you feel everything.
You feel that
They're like
skin-to-skin
those-
pregnancy,
they're
but
like-
you don't. You're not.
They're
pregnant.
like those fucking berries that change your taste, but they make you feel like you're pregnant.
I like those fucking berries.
Crunch berries.
Yeah,
Like
it's
those
like
fucking-
oops, all skin condoms.
Oops.
Oh,
It's oops all captain. It's all captain in there.
It's all Captain. You feel everything.
So,
Feel everything is trademarked, by the way. How hard do you think the people that
Look
did
at
the trademark office
Lifestyles.
laughed when that one came across their desk?
Lifestyles, cabin crunch. You feel everything.
Oops, all babies.
oops all babies.
Oh boy. All right, I'm sorry. All right.
I love it. It feels like feel everything. You open up, it's the 12 steps of acceptance. Here's what you can expect to feel: anger, bargaining, depression,
Skin to skin.
skin to skin.
Brian gives it 1 star. Says, "Why is this on my order list if I didn't order this?"
Hint, hint.
Yeah, Amazon's just trying to
Can
get you laid, Brian, and not pregnant.
Can I read
Yes.
one from Daja?
Yes.
Daja says 4 stars. Not for Magnum users. I didn't mind them, but my guy at the time said they run a little small and felt tight after a while. If the guy usually needs Magnums, then this may not be the condom for them. My boyfriend has
Such a huge fucking cock.
Oh.
my boyfriend's cock is just monster truck.
I thought you were still
know.
reading the review for a second.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
It's just
I was like,
monster truck Daytona 500 Kentucky Derby style monster cock.
oh boy.
My guy is BlizzCon size.
He's got truck nuts and tank dick.
Yeah.
Jay Mills gives it 5 stars. Says, "Keeps the good stuff in. I have 2 kids and I don't want any more. Wife won't take the pill. These do the job." The review does not reflect satisfaction of my love life
you got
happiness
it.
level.
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction.
I hate to break it to you, buddy. Your wife does want more kids.
Yes.
That's why she's not taking.
She won't take the pill. She thinks it's
Yeah.
skin to skin because these spicy skin to skin bad boys.
She's not taking the sensu berries.
You know, with kids, they say the skin to skin is really important in the child's
Oh
development.
my god! Oh. Too soon.
Too soon.
Too
What?
soon.
Too
With
soon.
all that.
Yeah.
I forget you just had your baby.
Yeah, you gotta wait 18 years before you make jokes.
Before you make dick jokes now.
All right, you boys are ready.
No.
For
For
what?
the final review, Keith.
Oh God, yes,
Yes,
I'm ready.
Keith.
Yes, 1,000 times yes.
Keith wants to give it to you.
Please, God, give it to me, JP.
Oops, more all Keiths.
Oops, I'll keep.
5-star review. Too strong for water balloon fights. Good for intended purpose. He says, because I am sensitive to latex, I have tried a number of non-latex condoms over the years. These are the best at this price point. My brother-in-law likes to throw water balloons at me when I least expect it. One day, I decided to reciprocate, but I was too lazy to drive to the store and buy water balloons. So I filled one of these up with about 16 ounces of water and tied it off. I threw it directly at his face with considerable force. It did not break as I expected. Instead, it bloodied his nose and tore his right cornea before bouncing unbroken down my gravel driveway.
Some say it's still out there, just bouncing around.
So they aren't good water balloons, but seeing as I am still not a father, they totally prevent unwanted babies from growing inside your significant other.
This 16-ounce motherfucker hit my brother's nose and bloodied it, scratched his
What-
cornea, fucked his
what I-
wife, became his kid's stepdad, stole his job.
But at least my girlfriend's not pregnant.
But at least my girlfriend's not pregnant.
This is what I'm hearing is good PR for this skin
Yeah.
corporation.
won't
'Cause,
broke.
I mean,
won't
this
break.
thing's proven to handle up to 16 ounces of cummies. And
16
ounces of
Yeah.
cummies thrown at your brother-in-law's face and bounced down a gravel drive.
Yeah. If your intimate nights with your significant other are,
Or your
more
brother-in-law.
like splish splash, we're taking a bath, and there's a lot of juice in there. There's a lot of juices flowing in that.
A lot of
condom.
orange juice.
This is the brand for you. I also want to say the percentage of 5 stars is 69%. So we may as well
Oh,
just
shit.
oh man.
commit. We may as well just commit ritual suicide now. 'Cause it's not gonna
Also,
get
I
any
would,
better than this.
I would love to hear that that's actually the durability test they run at the factory before sending out a package.
Everybody just fucking hates Steve at the office.
He's
So
like,
one day they
what's my position I'm being high for? Oh, brother-in-law. Oh, that sounds
Oh.
good.
you're the brother-in-law. Like, is that a porn thing?
No,
No,
even better.
Steve.
Even better. You had a family barbecue. Hey, Jim, what's up, brother-in-law? Not much, man. Got a new job. Oh, where at? The skin factory. I work in the durability testing department.
What do you?
That sounds nice.
What do you?
What do you?
Oh.
What do you?
My cornea.
My My cornea in my nose.
Get the kids off the gravel driveway.
What's in my
Get off!
gravel driveway?
What is it doing to my wife?
It just wobbles like a.
What is it doing to my wife?
beans? Oh boy.
Man.
This is insane.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Yes.
I love you very much. Don't forget to don't eat or drink too much before bed,
Yes. And come on the podcast.
because that'll give you the acid reflux.
Everyone.
Please, everybody, come on the podcast. We have plenty of room. I got a fresh bowl of popcorn
Oh
popped
shit.
for you.
Hey, you're
It's gonna get cold though.
a sea salt
so please
popcorn.
hurry.
So good.
I only have one bag of popcorn. I don't know where to get more. Please hurry.
This message is brought to you by the Board of Education and polyisoprene.
Yes. It's free.
Hey everyone, it's me once again. If you're liking what we're doing so far, do us a favor and tell your friends about the show. For updates, follow us on Twitter at HereSomething1. To watch us have some goose while playing video games, make sure to follow me on twitch.tv/GeekmanJones and on Twitter at GeekmanJones. From that Twitch page, you can find a link to our Discord and become part of your new favorite community, and the last Discord you'll ever need. Well, thanks for listening, and we hope to see you again next week.